like I said, everything internally gets really loud, but these ones just sort of dull it a little bit. But I can still sort of tune into certain people, a little bit like when you wear noise cancelling
Yeah, that
headphones.
makes
They're
sense.
more comfortable, I would say.
That's
But yeah, so I use those, and they have helped a lot with, like, when I'm out and about and stuff. They're a really good coping mechanism. The problem with SCDS is there is no treatment for them. That there's no,
yeah.
like, it's not like a pain condition where you can take medication to ease the pain. And it's not like with, I haven't spoken about my rheumatoid arthritis, but with that, I have medications that will hopefully hold a lot of the um, problems with my joints and bones and things from developing further.
Yeah.
But with SCDS, it's so complicated and so complex, and um, it affects me from the second I get up. So, like, I'll put off going outside for as long as I possibly can, because I do live in town and there's a lot of noise traffic. And the worst thing, sorry, traffic noise is the
That's
wrong
okay.
word. Yeah, that was the
Not a
wrong way
problem.
around. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic noise. And I just find that if I expose myself to that traffic noise early on, then my SCDS is worse for the whole day.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I've had to, like, come up with ways of managing my um symptoms and my energy and stuff very, very quickly,
Yeah.
Um, and so, first of all, there's the noise element, but then there's also this visual element. So, with vertigo, I don't know how much you know about vertigo, but um, my vertigo is caused by my ears, but it affects my eyes. So, when I
Oh,
get
wow.
vertigo, my eyes dart and I just can't keep them still. So, I'm always wearing glasses, even though I don't wear glasses for, like, reading.
Yeah.
I wear, like, blue light glasses because they um controlling the glare really helps my eyes to focus.
Yeah.
And when I'm outside, I wear, they're called Migra lens glasses, and they're amazing. But for the last 5 years, I've literally worn them everywhere I go with you.
Yeah.
And I've got to the point now where I just feel like a bit of a weirdo. Do you know what I mean? It's
Bless
like,
you.
it makes me feel very self-conscious.
Yeah, I
And
can
it's
understand.
funny because people also see me, my glasses and my dog, especially if I'm not using my
Yeah.
mobility aid, and they immediately go, "You're blind." So I'll get people ask really intrusive questions as
Um,
well. And, like,
yeah.
I feel like it's so interesting because having an invisible disability is so difficult because people can't see it, so they don't understand. So, like, when I
Yeah.
first SCDS, one of my first attacks I had before I knew what it was. I was outside the co-op supermarket, and
Yeah.
I had driven. I was still driving then as well, and somebody saw me and they thought I was drunk, so they gave me a wide berth, and I wasn't drunk.
Oh
I was,
no.
like,
It's
so
awkward.
unwell, and I really needed help. But the first thing people think is the worst thing they possibly
Yeah.
can. And it's kind of laughable now. I don't need to drink alcohol to feel like that.
Bless.
But, like,
Great way of
yeah,
thinking.
it puts people off if they think that you're drunk. So, they're not so quick to offer to help you. Whereas having an assistance dog, and even to an extent when I'm using mobility aids, it makes an invisible disability more visible. And
Yeah.
it immediately, Pinta's having a drink in case you're
Oh,
wondering what
bless her.
the noise
That's all
is.
right. She needs to hydrate.
Yeah, it immediately makes the invisible disability more visible, and people recognize that you might need a bit more help. And there's such a fine line, though, isn't there,
Yeah.
between offering someone help and being completely patronizing. And I
I
find
know.
that really
Yeah.
difficult to deal with as well. Like, because people often will ask me if I need help with, when I've got my mobility scooter, if I'm
Yeah.
stopped. I was just stopped letting Pinta go for a wee once, right?
Yeah.
And this woman came up to me and she went, oh, are you okay, my love? And I was thinking, like, I'm not a
What?
child,
No.
and there's like nothing wrong with my brain.
No, no.
You don't need to, well, there is, but there isn't. You don't need
Yeah.
to talk to me like I'm five, you know.
Oh,
There's such
absolutely not.
a fine line. It's so hard, isn't it? And like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to say those things to people because
No,
I
it's
don't
hard.
also want to be unkind, but it's like, why do people either completely disregard you or treat you like you're kind of a lesser human in
Yeah.
a way?
No, I know
You
what
know,
you mean.
yeah, this is partly why I do a lot of what I do, because I want to raise awareness for these sort of conditions that are less well known, and you know, so that people will maybe kind of think a little bit more outside the
Yeah.
box. And it is really interesting. You know, you were saying about your autism. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you know this about me, but before I became disabled, my job, I was actually a wellness support worker for people, and also my partner, my other half, has
Yeah.
autism. So it's been really
Oh,
interesting
bless.
for me, a really long journey to
Yeah.
see how far, you know, because we've raised so much awareness about autism and neurodivergence now, that people
Needs to branch
recognize.
out.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And like, I sort of think, right, okay, there's other things as well that we need to campaign for too. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I'm trying to sort of shift my focus a little, and I can see that you're doing the same by doing what you're doing now, which is amazing. And
Thank you.
it's, you know, it gives a bit of insight, doesn't it, for people, but it also, it's Pinta's eating a bone now. Sorry.
That's okay. I can't hear it,
Making
honestly.
all the
She
noise.
deserves a bone.
She does. It's her birthday bone. She's got an
Oh,
ostrich. It's massive. It's about this
that's
big.
cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's loving it. But yeah, it's so important that we do raise awareness of these things,
yeah.
because it we have to make the world more accessible. We absolutely do. And that, I guess, is my focus, what I would see my purpose in life as being now, really. Because I've, you know, purpose, you were saying about purpose before, and I do believe that having purpose is so important. um you know, and our purpose does shift throughout life. I've had so many different purposes, it's crazy. But you know, a lot of what happened around me, the timing couldn't have been worse in a way,
Yeah.
because my daughter has grown up. She turns 23 this
Oh,
year.
wow.
So like, my daughter grew
Proper
up,
adult.
she moved out
Yeah.
really quite shortly after I was sick.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was me being unwell that made her move out.
No, no, not
Just
at all. I'm sure it was not. I'm
it
sure it
was
was.
the timing, you know. But you know, like, she moved out. She's only gone around the corner. I probably see her more now than I did before. But
Oh, that's
you
lovely
know,
having
it's
family
like,
close by.
yeah, exactly. Having a purpose, going from being a mother, and then like, my mind was, well, when my daughter's an adult, she's finished schooling, my world will open up even more. I'll be able to travel, I'll be able to do all the things that I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do. And one of the other things that had just happened to me was that I had just been offered a grant to study psychology,
Yeah.
and then this happened and I lost it all. And like, I can't explain the devastation. And then, to rub insult into injury, we really nearly lost our home because of
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I'm sorry to
um
hear that.
you know, that
Yeah.
would be such an interesting podcast to do, is like the financial stress around becoming unwell, especially for
Yeah.
homeowners, because so many things that I didn't know about at the time. So it might be something you might want
Oh,
to think
definitely.
about.
No, definitely make a note of it.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah, because like, we nearly lost everything, because I was the main breadwinner. I had really dedicated my life to studying and understanding
Yeah.
people. And then, you know, it was like the rug was pulled from under my whole family's feet, really. And it was everything I'd worked towards. And I was left with this sense of, well, what do I do now? And what have I learned from my experiences in life that I can now carry forward into a new life? Because working with such a catastrophic disability is really difficult. And like, I tried so hard. I carried on working for 2 years
Yeah.
before I realized it was not going to work. And I literally had walked up to the top of the stairs at work, and something had happened in the building next door, and I had a vertigo attack at the top of the
Yeah.
stairs.
Oh no,
And it was
dangerous.
absolutely. And my boss went, look, I'm not being funny, but I really don't think you should be at work. And I went home and I never went back, and I was
Yeah.
so devastated. And like, I know it was the right thing. My manager knew it was the right thing. We're still in touch, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it was it was it was crazy. The devastation was unbelievable, because the work I was doing, I was so invested in. I was going into prisons and delivering
Yeah.
autism in prisons, and I'd created a wellness program and put all of my energy into this thing that I then couldn't do anything with, and ended up having to hand my work over to someone else, which was so devastating. But I know
Can
it was the
imagine.
right decision. I really held on to it for a long time. I was like, I created this. I also studied this in my own time.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to give it to someone.
That's
But in the end, I was
understandable.
like, you know what? People need the tools to function. And actually, like, that's the end of that purpose for me. And something else will come along. And I was right, it did. But it's a hard journey, because the financial restrictions when you're disabled are very, very difficult to maneuver, and like, move around with being working whilst being on disability benefits is really taboo. And like, my
Yeah.
social security department have been so supportive. I couldn't be more grateful to them for allowing me to do what I'm doing. But I'm so restricted because, first of all, my illness is restricting, and second of all, my financial situation is restricting. So like, in an ideal world for me, what would be amazing is if my products would just go viral overnight, which is
Yeah.
so difficult, and bring in like a
Can
million
imagine.
orders, and then I could hire people to do it for me and not have to worry about it. And then, I'd be able to not have to claim. But it's difficult, because what I do, I need to do within my own home, and I need to be able to control my environment to the extreme. And there's absolutely nothing that I can do outside of my home. And I know that. And that's what the hard thing is moving forward, is like, whether or not, first of all, I have the energy to do that without ruining my whole world even
Yeah.
more than it is
It's
already.
understandable.
Yeah. And then second of all, it's having the money to plow into something, because even just getting a product patented costs like 40,000, which I don't have. So like,
Yeah.
I'm praying
That's
that
a
my,
lot.
my business will take off before anyone copies my designs and stuff like that. It's so hard, isn't it? But we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I've been really lucky, and I am so grateful to the support that I've had from the states of Guernsey and stuff. Have been absolutely amazing, and they've been there for me. And my partner too, because my partner is my carer.
Yeah.
um it's a really good example, because we've talked about a few things, and I keep on going from here to here
That's
to
okay.
here.
It's fine. It's not a
But
problem.
I was talking about showering earlier, wasn't I? And
Yeah.
one of the issues I have with showering is when the water hits my head,
Yeah.
because it makes a lot of noise, which makes me dizzy.
Yeah. It's
So I
interesting.
get in the shower and I feel all right, but then I'll turn the shower on and immediately I'm not all right anymore. So like, I literally dread showering. and bathing, like, whereas before I was almost obsessed with it. Like, so now I will shower maybe twice a week and I will wash the rest of the week. But like when I shower, I have to have support and I need help to
Yeah.
get out and I need help, afterwards because I'm still really dizzy. And Pinta's amazing. She helps me with a lot of tasks like dressing and
It's
um
incredible.
yeah, like she'll alert me to onset of migraine, which isn't the main issue, but certainly makes my other symptoms worse. So like all of these things are really helpful. Um, and like the changes in my life that have occurred because of SCDS, things like I can't drive anymore, whereas before I loved driving, and that's caused a lot of isolation because obviously you can't drive when you've got
No,
vertigo. A lot of people do, and they don't realise that, but they shouldn't, because if they crashed, they'd be in a lot of trouble. Um,
the dangerous
and
definitely here for them and for the other person.
it's scary to think that people are driving around with vertigo, And when I was still working, there was quite a lot of pressure on me to get back behind the wheel. And I
Mm.
knew my doctor would never sign me off,
No,
because I worked in the community and I was going out on outreach and stuff. And I suddenly I had no driving license anymore and I couldn't do that. So the pressure is huge when you're in that line of work. But yeah, like if you have a vertigo condition, it immediately diminishes your insurance. You have no insurance, and it voids your driving license. So when I went to get my medicals filled in to see if I could ever get driving again, and I didn't even want to,
yeah,
it was just that I was pressured to get back doing what I had been doing. And my doctor said no, which I knew he was going to. It's so stupid, but I had to go ask the question because of the pressure that was on me from my workplace. Um, and that's not nothing against my workplace at
no,
all,
not at all.
not at all. It's just that they wanted to know, will you ever be able to
Yeah, they
drive
want to know
again?
the answer.
Yeah, it's a part of my job description that I have a driving license, and yeah, and I was filling in the forms and I knew he was going to say no, because on the form when you apply for a driving license, it says you will not pass a medical if you have a vertigo condition. So I knew I wasn't ever going to be able to drive again before the doctor even told me. But yeah, like I wouldn't even have dreamed of doing that. I had a really bad vertigo attack once when I was on the motorway in the back of a
Yeah,
taxi. This was when I first got diagnosed. So when I first, well, not even diagnosed, when I had that first
yeah,
attack and I
that's,
went to the hospital, the doctor told me it was syncope and that it would never happen again. And I had 3 more attacks while I was on holiday. He said, you can go on holiday. It was the worst experience of my life. I'd been waiting for this holiday for over a year. It was the holiday of a
yeah.
lifetime for me. And I just wanted to come home the whole time. And I was in the back of a taxi with about 6 friends. We had one of these big London taxis, and it
Oh
should have been
wow.
really fun for a girl who was raised in Guernsey's, never even got on a train.
Yeah,
And yeah, we're on the motorway, and the driver hit like a bump.
yeah,
And now I know what caused it. It was the noise of hitting that bump, but I didn't know at the time. And I thought the car was flipping.
yeah.
So
Must have been
I was
scary.
doing whole 360 and I was literally screaming in the back of this taxi because I thought we were all about to
Yeah,
die. And
it's
yeah,
understandable.
that put me off driving for life, because I thought, do you know what, if I'd have been driving at that moment, I would have killed someone or myself, for sure.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's nothing to take lightly. Safety of others and and yourself as well. But yeah, it has really affected my life so much in every way possible. Um, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy journey. Crazy. Even just
definitely.
something simple like walking down the road, I can't do anymore. Um, it's 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 very difficult to get around. But I think I'm quite lucky where I live, in that I live on a small island and I live in Guernsey. We have a lot of beaches which are very quiet. So at the weekend, my favourite thing to do is to get up really early, and then Sammy, my partner,
Yeah,
takes me to the beach when the tide's out really early in the morning, and we walk as far out as we possibly can, as far away from the road as we can get. And I'll just stay there for a couple of hours, and it's like a little slice of heaven.
definitely
And
sounds it.
it really is. I've got so many videos on my TikTok of the beach because I just love going there so much now. I mean, I did before, but I appreciate it so much more now than I used to. Um, yeah. So I guess in a way that's another positive really about
Oh, definitely.
illness, that you do appreciate those quiet moments, really. And Herm Island, have you ever heard of Herm Island?
I've not, no. So I've never been to Guernsey. I've got a friend who lives over there who works in for BBC Radio Guernsey as a presenter there.
Oh,
But I've just never managed to make it over there. But I've seen pictures and it just looks absolute heaven, honestly.
who's that? Do you mind me asking? Is
Of
that Tom
course.
Girard?
No, it's
Yeah.
Steph. Steph.
Well,
Steph.
I don't know Steph. I've heard Steph
Yeah.
on the radio,
Yeah.
but I
Steph
don't know her
Watkins.
personally.
Yeah, she's really lovely. I met her when I worked. Going to slightly off tangent, but it's okay. I love telling
Oh, it's
stories.
interesting.
Too. Yeah, I met her when I was working at the BBC. Worked there about 3 years ago now. Yeah, and then she was very lucky to get a job as a radio presenter on BBC Guernsey, Radio Guernsey.
Oh, fantastic.
She loves it over there. It's one of the
Oh,
best things she's done.
I probably will meet her at some point. I might have already, actually, just not known it. But I have definitely heard her on the radio. My daughter's
Yeah.
quite a local celebrity because she's a
Oh,
vocalist.
that's
She
amazing.
teaches vocals, yeah, and she's got quite a lot of tracks on the BBC
Yeah.
website, and she's been interviewed quite a lot. She's featured on a lot of local shows, so it's quite interesting, the connections
I
in
don't
Guernsey. Everyone knows
know.
each other, and if they don't, they
Yeah.
will at some point.
Point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
understand that.
from like a disability point of view, though, I think that can be quite hard at times, because like I feel embarrassed quite a lot of the time,
Yeah.
because you see people that you haven't seen in a while, and they see that you've deteriorated, or it, it's the first time they've seen you since your disability took over, and you can see they're curious and they want to ask questions, but they don't. And
Yeah.
honestly, I prefer people to just ask me, because I find the elephant in the room more awkward than the questions. But I know that not everyone feels that way.
Yeah.
But for me personally, that's how I feel. I would prefer people to just be open, because I'm quite an open and honest person. Like, I just would prefer to sort of have the discussion, really. Um, but people don't really tend to. I think the worst thing that comes from having an assistance dog, close your ears, Pinta, because nothing's bad about having,
That's
but it does draw attention to you, I think. So
yeah.
if like I know that, like, so it's really interesting to me that so many people have autism assistance dogs,
Yeah.
because like, knowing what I know about autism and living with someone who has autism, like, I know that attention is often not what a person
No.
wants. But then equally, you do also have people who do quite thrive on attention too. But then I guess having an assistance dog, the conversation is always focused around the assistance dog. So that could potentially be quite
Be like an
good,
icebreaker. Yeah.
because there's less unpredictability in that discussion. But yeah, a lot of people ask me about my dog, and they'll say, why have you got her? Which is quite difficult at times, because you wouldn't go up to someone who
No.
has a wheelchair, why have you got
But
that?
that.
Or a walker, why have you got
Yeah.
that? But it's okay if it's an assistance dog. It's quite funny, but I don't really mind that much. But it does make me laugh.
Yeah.
But
It's just an
also
odd question,
it's
isn't
been,
it?
yeah, a lot of people interfere with assistance dogs still, and you think that
Yeah.
there was like quite a lot of education around not doing that, but you'd be surprised how many
Yeah.
people do, and it is always adults. It's never children, ever.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Children, yeah, children over here are so good, but we've got one local assistance dog organization that train Pinta with me,
Yeah.
and they go around all of the schools and educate all of the children. So it's not a wonder it doesn't really happen with the children.
Yeah.
And they go around other workplaces too, but I don't know, for some reason, adults, it doesn't sink in that you shouldn't touch. Um, and also, it doesn't sink in that you shouldn't distract them, because people don't
Not at
always
all.
realize that just looking at a dog is
Yeah.
distracting, you know.
I
You
can
take that
imagine.
as an invitation. Yeah, definitely. And also, not all assistance dogs want to interact.
No, of course not. Yeah.
That's the other thing, you know, like people often say to me, oh, can I say hello to her? And if people ask me, I would usually say yes.
Yeah.
But um, I always say, you can, but let me tell her that you can first,
Well, actually, yeah, to
you know,
reassure
so
her.
that she knows. Yeah, but the funny thing about that is that I'll then say hello, and off she'll go to say hello to the person, but she literally will just walk up to them,
Yeah.
turn, and come back to me, and they're like, oh, is that it? And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm
She's
her
got a
person.
job. Exactly.
In you, I'm not
Yeah.
being rude, but yeah,
It's true.
like you're welcome to pet her, but she's probably going to keep looking at me while you do.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's completely
it's
understand. I
quite
get it.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is quite funny to see though. Yeah.
Thank you to my amazing guests, Martine and Pinta. Remember, you are loved, and that love is love, no matter your sexuality, gender identity, or disability, or body size. Everybody is beautiful. As long as you're happy with yourself and your body, that's exactly what matters. If you are in the UK and you'd like a confidential talk with a professional regarding mental health support, you can visit mine, Samaritans, or Switchboard via phone or email. If you're not in the UK, then please look out for your local health services support. Please spread the love and positivity. We should be accepting and inclusive every single day. All the podcast episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.